is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to the Man or Mouse podcast, where we'll share how to manifest all your dreams coming true without doing any actual work. Just kidding. Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing A Carol for Two, which originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on, I don't have any idea.
I don't even know what day it is.
We're on the cruise, guys. Time has lost all meaning.
But we had to record this podcast because this movie was, spoiler alert, so good.
Yes. You'll want to catch our Cruise Tell All podcast episode for the many, many reasons why this episode is delayed. But we are here. It's going to be a busy week here on Girls Gone Hallmark. So let's dive into it. Quick reminder, you can follow us outside of the podcast on Instagram. The content is on and popping over there. If you did not follow us on the cruise, you can catch up. I saved everything in a highlight.
We have a literally booming Facebook group right now, thanks to the cruise. Come join us. It's Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups.
If there's anything happening in the world of Hallmark outside of what is happening on this cruise, I have absolutely no idea what it is. Did anything happen in the world while we were gone, guys? So we are going to jump right into A Carol for Two with a synopsis.
New to New York, talented singer Violet takes a job as a singing waitress. Things get complicated when her duet partner sets her up with a friend, but starts developing feelings himself.
A Carol for Two was directed by Jeff Beasley. Jeff has 3 movies in the countdown this year. His other movies are Christmas on Call and Following Yonder Star. You can check our interview with him about this movie. It has already aired in your podcast feed.
Nina Weinman wrote the script for A Carol for Two. I have a really hard time saying the title of this movie over and over and over again. I don't know what it is. But you all know Nina. She wrote the fall hit Haunted Wedding, as well as the upcoming Debbie McComer's Joyful Mrs. Miracle. She has 35 total writing credits and will be on sale too of the Christmas cruise.
Yes, she will. Jennifer Aspen served as executive producer. She is a multi-talented writer, director, producer, and has 8 producing credits. She also EP'd trivia at St. Nick's this holiday season.
Did you just go rogue on me?
I did.
Okay. Gina Claire Mason is a stage actress, having starred as Glinda in Wicked. She has just 3 screen acting credits, a Holiday Spectacular, a Heidelberg Holiday, and now A Carol for Two.
Jordan Litz is another Broadway powerhouse, fresh off his role as Fiyero in Wicked. This is his very first on-screen acting credit.
Wowie's high alert. Wowie's high alert.
Speaking of Broadway powerhouses, Charlotte Dambois plays Hazel. She has appeared in stage roles in Cats, Chicago, Sweet Charity, Pippin, and a chorus line, a role for which she received a Tony Award nom. Charlotte has 17 screen credits in addition to her stage work, having appeared in episodes of One Life to Live and Law and Order.
Gino Anania plays Brad. Whoa, there's a lot to talk about Brad. Gino has 23 acting credits, which include the Hallmark films A Kiss Before Christmas and Project Christmas Wish.
Our girl Stephanie Sy plays Ray. Stephanie has 67 acting credits, and she appears in the theatrical release of the book adaptation, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, in theaters now.
I want to see that movie.
Me too. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with First Impressions. What was your first impression of A Carol for Two, Wendy?
I need a Christmas album with Gina and Jordan.
Oh my gosh.
From a girl who doesn't really like Christmas and wants a Christmas album from these two.
I do believe that they released his song on Spotify, like the original song, but I don't think it's him singing it.
What?
It's like Gina Claire and someone else.
Tragic.
We'll do some research. My first impression is Alex coaching Brad is giving Chandler coaching Joey through his relationship with Kathy, especially when Brad gives a "how you doing?" And if you get that reference, you're my people.
I noticed that in the movie, but look at you with the deep cut details.
That's right. Let's talk what we liked.
Well, I know that well sounds like I
Yeah.
didn't like this movie. That is not true.
I thought we were gearing up for a.
No.
Okay.
No. I've thought a lot about tropes on Hallmark and this movie, and I liked this classic trope, but it had also a fresh feel. So in my mind, the way I saw this movie is here we have this small town girl going to the big city to pursue her dreams. It's such a classic, but this movie I felt kept it fresh because it blended like this old school Broadway charm with some relatable modern day challenges.
Yeah, that's nice. I think what I like about this movie is like I just felt like I could sit back and enjoy it. I was like, I'm gonna let the holiday spirit wash over me in this movie.
Totally.
Because like if you were to say like, are you a big fan of Christmas carols? My first response would be like, not really. But am I a big fan of Christmas carols when sung to me by Broadway stars? In fact, I am.
I think I saw you singing Christmas carols last night, though.
I mean, maybe a little bit. Like I can get in the mood. I'm trying to break out of my no fun role this week. Temporarily, it's exhausting. If you haven't seen our silent disco video, it is worth a watch. But this just felt like the most Christmas we've gotten so far this season.
I'm going through my brain. I'm trying to think of the movies that we've watched, and I would have to agree with you. Yeah. It was a good start to the season, and I know it wasn't the first movie.
There were some really lovely moments in this movie.
Go ahead.
I love that they went to the old folks home for former performers, and some people in our Facebook group have mentioned that that is a thing that exists, and that is a place I'd like to live. Grown-up theater kids just singing their little hearts out all day long.
Maybe there'll be like a podcast old folks home someday for us.
People just love to hear themselves talk.
I agree. I love that, and I love that it actually exists.
The father-daughter moment we have kind of in the kitchen of the dad, the whole time I was like, Violet, you can tell him. He'll understand. Like, he's team Violet.
That's in my wishes. I'm going to talk about it.
I just thought, like, this man is so lovely. Like, he's cheering for you, and he'll cheer for you no matter what you do. Like, he wants the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, he wants to be there for you. And I got a little emotional at their scene when he basically said, like, there's nothing you could do that would make me not be proud of you.
That's nice. It is nice. Guys, can you tell we're a little punch drunk? I think I have cabin fever.
Well, let's get the heck out of here.
I don't want to get out of bed. Okay. Quick funny story. Megan and I are sitting in the airport waiting for our flight that we did not fly together. And we were talking about this movie. And we were talking about Jordan Litz, who plays Alex, right? And at the same time, she and I go, what a jawline or something. I mean, literally the same words at the same time. It was so funny. I really liked Jordan Litz. Hello, welcome to Hallmark. You can stay. He had the perfect mix of charisma, a great look, a voice that is stunning. And do you remember in our Jeff Beasley interview, Jeff mentions that Jordan was really working hard to absorb everything because he comes from the stage and this was like his first movie. And of course it's different. And I would not have even have noticed that. I thought he did such a great job.
No, if you were like, show me the actor in this movie who has never been anything before, I wouldn't have been like, it's Jordan. Jordan looks like if you manufactured a Hallmark hunk in a lab. He is perfection. He came across as warm and sincere on screen. I mean, he's like kind of nasty in the beginning because he's like, I've been here for so long and this Nepo baby's going to come in and steal my thunder. But he was a full, complete character and such a nice pairing with Gina Claire. Like, they just seemed so comfortable together.
Very comfortable together. Speaking of Gina Claire, I loved her in this. I thought she was great. Man, that girl can sing. I am a little surprised that she took on a role that is so close to her own previous theater stage acting experience. I mean, I get why she did it because it's a slam dunk. It's going to be easy for her, right?
Yes.
But considering she did a Holiday Spectacular and a Heidelberg Christmas, which was a real departure from being on Broadway, I assumed that she would maybe want to like explore roles that were like nothing like her previous experience.
Yeah, I could see that. She's like, well, let me break out of this, like,
I'm not Glinda forever.
but then you got Nina Wyman, who writes a script about two aspiring Broadway stars, and they got the chance to cast a Broadway star.
Agreed.
I mean, there was a video I saw on Instagram. It was on Jordan Litz's Instagram, and he was like showing her apartment. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm laughing at your finger.
I thought you were laughing at the fact that with my left hand, what I'm miming is recording an Instagram story, by the way. I didn't realize I was doing it because I was talking about his Instagram video that he posted, and in my hand I have an invisible phone and I'm holding down the recording button as if I'm recording. Gina Claire had this gorgeous Airbnb apartment that they had rented for her. I mean, it has like 180-degree views of wherever they recorded, not New York City. And she was like, man, pays to be the star. So
why was his place a dump?
he didn't show it, but clearly she had the good stuff. And it was not just a hotel room, an embassy suite. So the reason I say that is because, like, I'm sure Hallmark was like, this movie is for you. Let's make it worth your while.
Got it. Yeah. They want to put the Broadway star in the Broadway
For
movie.
sure. What else you like?
I really liked the actress who played Hazel. And I know she has this beautiful like French last name. I don't know how to say it. Charlotte Dembois. It's really right.
It's like Joey learning how to speak French. Je te suis.
Anyway, she was fantastic. I could not take my eyes off of her. She has this wonderful, like, she uses her entire body when she acts. And I just couldn't take my eyes off of her. I loved her. I thought it was great casting.
I think part of why this is so fun is if you love Broadway, you're just like smiling the whole time watching this because you're like, I know Charlotte. I know Gina Claire. Someone please sing Defying Gravity.
Yeah,
Where's your Roxy Hart outfit? Let's get it going.
totally. What did you think about the sweeping shots of New York at Christmas time? Obviously not shot in New York. They used some sort of B-roll.
Big fan.
Big fan. I was like, I want to go.
I love New York at Christmas. I love New York at Christmas. We've gone several times and it never gets old to me. I mean, it's so crowded. That's actually a comment I have later during the holidays. But like when you come across these enormous holiday displays, oh, I just love it.
It's beautiful. If anybody gets a chance to go to New York at Christmas time, take it. I have a couple more little likes. I want to shout out whoever did the design for Alex's apartment. He had this little nook with like his piano, and then there was like vinyl albums and like cool vintagey looking like posters behind it. It just looked cool.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool set design.
With a curtain in between the bed and the futon.
Yeah, I mean, that's what living in New York is like when you're a struggling actor, I'm sure.
In a no bedroom, which I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy to see Stephanie Sy back. When she comes on screen, I'm like, it's our girl Stephanie. So
I love how you say it's our girl. We don't know her.
not at all. She does follow us on Instagram though now, guys. But we're just big fans and champions of her. And the Girls Gone Hallmark podcast will go on until Stephanie Sy has a starring role.
This is in my wishes.
Oh, good. I'm ready to talk wishes.
I'm not. I got two more things.
Cool.
Did you enjoy the like Cyrano inspired storyline? Am I saying that correctly?
I did not.
What?
I hated it.
This is why I liked it. Because it softened Alex. I did not really like Alex at the beginning. I was like, this guy has like the biggest chip on his shoulder. Like he needs to be humbled, right? he has some really funny lines. I thought like he came off real cocky. Not enough for me to dislike him, but he was just walking around with a chip on his shoulder. Until he starts feeding these lines to Brad, we start to learn that he's learning more about Violet, and so it's through that we find like
That's
he's
nice
interested in
insight.
her.
I like that insight. I do. I have other issues with the Cyrano storyline, but yes, it does work for that reason.
It totally works for that reason. It's not because I wanted Brad to succeed.
No.
Okay, let's move on to the wishes because I know you're chomping at the bit to get to the Brad part of it.
Well, my question here is, why am I supposed to root for Brad when he doesn't seem to care for Violet at all? He just seems to want to win at being in a relationship.
Yeah, I think he got dumped. So he's trying to like prove that he's worthy of being in a relationship with a beautiful woman.
Yeah, but with a woman he does not care about.
Sure, he's just trying to get back at his ex.
I understand. And I think the Cyrano story, I think we're supposed to believe that this person genuinely wants to be with the other person. And in this case, I was like, well, it's not even like I'm torn. I'm not even like, oh no, poor Brad. I'm just like, get out of the way and let the real love story happen. You know, he comes in real hot when he finds out Violet's going to break up with him. And he goes, it wasn't actually me she likes. It wasn't actually her. You liked either, Brad.
He wasn't that invested, you're saying. Yeah. I mean, Brad was a buffoon. He was definitely a bro type Chad kind of guy.
Yeah, this is like our second bro podcast mention in the Hallmark sphere lately.
Yeah, and I know that like a lot of people online and in our Facebook group who did not really enjoy this character. And I have to agree, like I get that it was supposed to be like a comic relief, but sometimes it leaned like too far into cringe. And I was like, yikes, no. But it did make me root then for Alex and Violet.
Yeah. I have been thinking a lot about the Brad character because obviously like the whole point of him is so that we root against him. But I don't want to root against him to the point that I dislike him.
Mm-hmm.
He was going through some stuff. You know, he's a young dude trying to figure out his place in life. But I do think they went a little hard.
Okay.
With 2Ds.
With what? Hard with 2Ds.
And if you get that reference, you're a Girls Gone Hallmark superfan.
Wow. Okay, here, this is a little bit throwback to what you were talking about. Violet's decision to lie to her dad about like what happens when she arrives to New York didn't add up to me because he was so supportive of her going out and pursuing her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
If he had been like, no, you don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't do that. Then that sets it up for, I told you so. You shouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
But he rallied for her. So she goes. The show gets canceled. That has nothing to do with her.
Mm-mm.
Zero things to do with her. She could have been, Dad, it's canceled. I'm still here. I'm going to pull myself up from the bootstraps and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. And he'd be like, yeah, you are.
Yes,
We're all behind you.
There's no reason to lie to him about it.
No, none. I agree.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I can be that kind of person too, though, in life where I'm like, I don't want to tell this person this disappointing news. They're not going to love me anymore. And never has that turned out to be true.
You are not the reason that the show got canceled.
I understand.
Here are a couple little more wishes. Agree back to Stephanie Sy, please. I'm going to tell you, when I saw this movie, this was like, not when I saw this movie. When I first got word of this movie, it was late summer, maybe even midsummer. Somebody put it on IMDb, and I don't think they should have yet.
Uh-oh.
So, and it said Stephanie Sy, and I was like, Stephanie Sy got a lead role finally. This is amazing. And then she's not the lead. but she's a beautiful singer. She's a great actress. I was happy that her character also got an opportunity in it.
Do you think she was originally in line to play the lead? Because Jeff talks about how like this movie like has been a movie they've tried to make several times, and it has been on the table and then off the table.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. But can we just get more Stephanie Sy? She was great in The Magic of Lemon Drops, Santa Summit last year.
Yeah, she can be more than just a supportive best friend.
And we have been talking for weeks that we need more representation. The last thing that I wished for is I'm not sure about Violet's kind of over the top reactions to, like, she has a meltdown over her dad being at the show, and then she overhears Alex and Brad. That felt a little overblown. I just was like, she seems like a very level-headed person, so I'm kind of surprised by her reactions in those moments.
Yeah. It was like the 1-2 punch of those two things happening back to back, I'm sure. But I was like, why are we so mad? Like, why are we so mad at Alex when he was, I guess there's like the you deceived me piece of it. I don't know. I think it was overblown, like you said.
Okay. That's all I've got for wishes.
Let's do Did You See That?
I have two.
Okay.
One of them you already mentioned at the very top, another toxic masculinity podcast. Man or Mouse?
Your other one?
Yeah, it was a great line that I love that they included. Alex and Violet are chatting about Alex's childhood and family, and he says, I'm the guy who would rather be in Wicked than on the football field. And he was in Wicked.
Yeah, very fun.
Good job, Nina.
That is in my Did You See That as well. Funny because they both were in Wicked. My other Did You See That's are the restaurant is called Fiore's. Do you think that is a nod to Fiero?
Maybe. I don't know. I wondered if it was a real restaurant or not. I looked it up. There's like a pizza place, but I don't think there's anything of like that kind of restaurant. However, I do have a question for you. You know how they're like mean to their patrons? Have you ever been to a restaurant that's like that? Like,
no, because it makes me uncomfortable.
It totally makes me uncomfortable.
Like Ed DeBevick's in LA.
Yes, that place used to do it. There was a place in Orange County that used to do it a long time ago, but they've since closed down. Like if you buy into it, like that, knowing that's what you're going to get when you get there. But I don't want to be treated like that.
No, I'm not. Once again, no fun. I have no sense of humor. That does not work for me. Just be nice to me, and I'll be nice to you. Two more. There's one scene where they like walk by an alley, and it reminded me, there's been this conversation lately that I've seen pop up a lot, that there are very few alleys in Manhattan, but they're always in Manhattan set movies. Like Hollywood has decided that New York has alleys, but the way Manhattan is built, there really aren't very many. So that's like a dead giveaway that they are not in New York, not in Manhattan at least. And another New York related Did You See That is that the least believable thing about this movie is that it is not wall to wall people at all these holiday events. Like when they're like, we're walking at Bryant Park. And I was like, well, the last time I was at Bryant Park during the holidays, it was shoulder to freaking shoulder.
Yeah, they got that market there in Bryant Park.
Yes. And that's what they're walking. Like they're buying gifts for that gift basket at those stalls. So you need some more background actors jostling up against people.
Yeah, I hear you.
What'd you rate this movie?
I gave this movie 4.75 stars.
Wowie zowie. I gave it 4.5.
I thought it was a good one.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. Stay tuned for a full week of episodes from us. We'll see you next time. Bye. All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.
Bye.